I was starting to play again, but I realized it was on my end that was starting to play, not on yours. So anyway, hi everybody, and welcome out to Monday nights. It's time for us to hang out. It's time for us to chat and have a good time tonight. And you'll notice it's just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't sing anymore then.
Yeah, thank you. But no, so John is unable to join us. John is being dad mode tonight until they understand that and get that idea. And hopefully he's having a good time. I'm trying to fix my mic here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So he's hopefully enjoying time doing that. So MJ and I, we're going to have some fun. We will definitely want you throwing some ideas into the chat as we talk about this tonight. But basically our big concept tonight, what we want to, do this every once in a while, we go down this rabbit hole of things that we would like to see. Now in the past, it's been things we'd love Santa to bring us, but Santa better have already made this or it's not coming by the 25th. So we're looking a little bit farther out. We're looking more at 2022 gear that we would like to see happen, come out, be made. Even prototype would be an idea that we're going in the right direction.
Can we throw in given to us for free?
Of course.
Welcome everybody. Dan, thank you for joining me on this crazy night and taking charge as I'm pressing buttons over here. I'm the man behind the curtain tonight. I didn't have the intro, so I just kind of winged it. And we're on 11 places tonight, Dan. Nice. And I'm excited about this list because you know me, I always want to hope for the best.
Yes. And I did think it was kind of weird. So like you did that initial one, and I was like, when you made the list, I still know how I only saw 4 of them. I was like, 4. I was like, okay, well, it's going easy tonight, I guess. And so I started throwing ideas out, and you're like, yeah, that's on the list. Yeah, that's on the list. I made
categories, and then I did categories by alphabetizing categories. So some of mine are there's like almost no answer, but some of them do have a little bit of an answer. So I think it's going to be interesting. Feel free to throw into the chat as we go into each one of these categories, something you would like to see, and maybe we could talk. Maybe it was something we didn't even think about. So do that. Yeah. So Dan, are you ready to jump into these topics?
I am. You pick the category, okay, and we can hopefully fill.
Move the chat just a little bit closer so I can see it. Everybody's in there. All right. So the first one I kind of changed from when I sent you the list, because when I sent you the list, I believe all it said was case or cases, and I wanted to put on there case, cases, or covers, and that would include anything like that, because one of the things that I wanted that would not be a case, would be a cover, would be a deck saver for the new Rain 1. And I think in the covers we can account speaker covers or scrims. I would think anything like that we can throw in with that. So it can be cases, covers of any sort. And that's something that I think I would like would be a deck saver for the R1. And maybe there's a company that makes cases that I like. They're expensive. They're out of the UK and they literally customize them how you want. Nice. Swan case. And I like one of their Swan cases, but they're kind of expensive. So that's my 2 for cases, and that's all I have for cases. What do you have for cases? Cases, or covers?
So wait a minute. You're telling me there's no case for the Rain 1?
There's lots.
No, there's no deck saver for the case 1 or the Rain 1.
There is a deck saver. I want it.
Oh, I thought we were talking about gear that doesn't exist and we want them to suddenly have.
I'm counting both, actually.
You're counting both. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I probably should have mentioned that it's if you can find it, that's what I want, or if you can't find it, that's what I'm doing the little elf genie to bring it to me.
All right, fair enough. Okay, I feel a little bit better because I was like, man, I'm surprised that doesn't exist. Okay, so for me, and this is first off, I'm going to go 2 different directions. So you talked about covers. So I'm going to go for like the speaker cover. I love my EVs, right? But the one thing that drives me up a freaking wall with my EVs is the cases that they have, the default cases for them, do not have a bottom cover. So when you slide it on, you slide it on the top.
Like a dust cover.
Yeah, basically. It's like a dust cover. So nothing protects the bottom. On subs, okay, they're on the floor. But for your tops, they're usually on something. They're on a pole, they're on a tripod, something. So that bottom edge is visible. So if it gets dinged up because there's nothing protecting it, that to me is a problem. I mean, I know I could have some custom cases made. I didn't really want to go that route. I'd rather just have the setup. For the Evolves, there's the rolling cases, but I don't need the rolling. I like the idea of just being able to pick it up, but I'd like, so my experience with the cases was kind of the QSC K12s. Back in the day, that was what I used to use. And they have, like, you put them in, you zip them up, and it's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that for the EV. Okay. Cases, though.
Me they don't have that. That's something that surprised me, because as many people like those speakers, that would be something somebody would say, hey, we need that. And someone else is like, hey, people would buy that, and they wouldn't make it.
Yeah. Within the hierarchy of their company. Like, right. That's the thing. Like, I can go to Tukey Covers and have one made.
Okay.
Right. and that kind of thing. But you think
isn't like Gator Case is putting one out specifically for it. That's a
exactly
wrapped thing. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then
before you go to the next one, someone in the chat says for Christmas they want your sweater. So I just feel I need to point that out, that I don't have mine. I ordered a Christmas thing and hasn't come in yet. You'll see. Hopefully, if it comes in by the end of the week, you'll see it. But you get Dan's in full blow tonight. Dan, tell us about that sweater?
So it comes with a tie. But the suspenders are not real.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but it has buttons on the bottom. Like, I'm not gonna lift it up because then you see my stomach. But there's buttons on the bottom, like for where suspenders would clip onto. So it makes it look like the suspenders are real, especially when the tie is
yeah. So very nice. Well,
Walmart
was
last year, 2 years
Donnie
ago.
Lewis wants it. So
yeah. Well, Donnie, we can go shopping at Walmart sometime.
Okay, good. For cases.
Yeah. So cases. This is one thing you and I have talked about every year that we've done this type of show, is that I want a case that is going to give me light protection and not weigh 10 times as much as any of the gear that's in it. We've talked about that. And from day one, that has been a wish of mine. And we know companies can do it. I understand why they don't, because people then would treat it like it's the heavy duty case and destroy the equipment and whatnot. But if they I'd love something in between a soft case and the Ballistic 3000, like, something in the middle that's going to weigh less than my car. It would be great to be able to use that.
Later this week, those who follow me know I got the Rain 1, and there was an old case that I had. Jimmy Spin has one also from back in the 90s. It came with some American DJ CD players. And it's super light, and the Rain fits in there. And I'm going to do a little adjusting this week, throwing some foam in there. And if I can get that to where I like it, I'm going to show it off to people and say how many people would want something this light? Because if I'm correct, it weighs 8 pounds. If I'm correct, the whole case.
Wow.
But it's solid. I've been carrying equipment in it because after the American DJ stuff went, I ended up putting the Denon 1000 CD players in there, and then I put the Denon 1200 CD plays in there. When I got rid of it, I didn't put anything else in there, but I can fit the Rain in there. And I think that's something when you see it, you'll be like, yes, that's what I want. It's very protective. And there are a few companies that make just like, they look like briefcases for our equipment that are much lighter. They're kind of like, you ever see one of the silver tool cases that you can get at like Lowe's that looks like it's metal, but it's really not? That's what they are. They make some of those out there for that. You can't open them up and DJ from it. It's to carry in, pull it out of it, and use it that way. That's the only option.
That does give me more than the soft case, but I would, I'm kind of hoping something that I can roll in, set down, plug in, and not have to let me take it out. Let me make all the stuff. I like that already hooked up aspect.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm hoping, I don't know if I'm going to be able to with this one because there's not much space. So if I do XLRs, I'll probably have to do right angle XLRs maybe to make it work. But that's my project by Friday for my gig Friday. I want to try to have it so I can at least transport it. Someone in the chat, you're able to see YouTube chat, right?
YouTube chat, yes.
Yeah, okay. So you saw Arts in there. Comment on that because that's something more than I know.
Yeah, so
talking about case covers.
For those No, he's talking about lighting stands.
Oh, I think he's talking about covers for stands.
No,
Oh,
I think he's talking about the stands themselves. So art
I
for those of you that don't
I didn't put holders in our list. So let's talk about let's put that as part of
well, let's tackle it right now while we're at it, since Art brought it up. So for those of you that don't see the YouTube chat, Art said it would be nice to see lighting stands in other colors than black, for example, white or silver finish. I will first off say that I believe there are companies that are starting to go the tripod route with white, because white has been such a huge thing within the last 2 years, maybe, where it seems like more and more the equipment's coming out that's white, or the stands are coming out. Like I've seen some lighting stands that have now been white. But I totally get it. Like they're not as commonplace, and especially the ones that we're more used to, and being that way. I know there's a gravity stand, which is similar to like the Jospeh Flex stand. If I'm Flex, I think I'm using the right one. But it's just like the single pole on the base plate. Again, they've been in white. So there are some that are out there, and I have a pair of silver tripods. So I don't know if there's, who was it? Odyssey? I think it's Odyssey. I think I'm over there. But you're right. I haven't seen that style in quite a while, where it seems like they went more black. I think a lot of times with the black, and this is one of the reasons why I think for the most part, a lot of companies really push the black. Think about if there's a little ding in it, if there's something like that, more often than not, the black, you still don't notice it. But the white, it gets dirty, it gets dingy. Now you're cleaning or whatever. So I think a lot of companies for your holder stuff have often tried to push the black, or not push the black, only make the black, because of the other problems that result from other colors. But it is interesting if you think about like trussings in silver. I mean, it's just like aluminum tubing, unless you get the powder coated stuff, which that's another aspect. So it's interesting that would be in silver, but we don't have regular tripods as often or rarely in silver.
I'm going to cover that for me later, because there's something I'm going to, it's same thing we're talking about. I'm going to go a different direction with it, and you'll understand. Okay. Next one on thing is controllers or gear. And I put that in there in case, not just controllers, maybe a mixer, maybe a second mixer to run mics or something. I'm going to leave that wide open for everything on that. And for me, getting the R1 is darn close to a dream controller. I think the only thing I would add to that, and I don't know if I would add to it because it would add weight, is 4 channels as opposed to 2. That's the only thing I feel it's missing, because I like doing with virtual, you can do the stem controls with the outside 2 channel high mid lows, and then your high mid lows on the channel high mid lows. And this one I kind of have to, I incorporated the high low gain filter as the vocal isolator, vocal remover. So I still have my high mid lows and then vocal remover, vocal isolator. But if I had the other channels, I would like that. But it's darn close. Dan and I have been talking for at least a year now, trying to figure out equipment and all these different things. You recently got the 707M. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's my backup, or what may come into use if my 7000 goes down.
Okay. So what do you have for controller stuff? Do you have anything in there?
For what I would like, so I focus more on the dream list. And so as I got thinking about this, I think I'm closer to that standalone, that standalone system than what I would have been maybe 2 months ago. But my kind of objection is I would like a standalone with a bigger screen, almost like a fold up laptop screen. So, like when I'm closing it, like when I'm ready to go, it folds down and it's all set to go. And then when I want to use,
you want a laptop that goes boop.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, kind of to that aspect, but it wouldn't have to be the screen folds, but you know what I mean? Like it folds over the controllers and then it folds up, or fold over the controls and then folds up, and would give me a little bit more real estate, because I like the Prime 4, I like the Prime 2. Like I got to see them and got to see you play with it and stuff, and use it. And I liked it, but I'm so used to the bigger laptop screen with the bigger window of seeing my library and seeing my mixing pieces, that I would like, that would be, I think, what would push me maybe more to look at those as my new system.
I want to throw an idea out for you on that. What if it was not a standalone, but one that, like, you put the thumb drives in, okay? Instead of putting a thumb drive in, you got a tablet, your tablet, that carried your music and an app of your program. So you get whatever size tablet you want, plug it right into whatever device you're DJing from.
They have that.
They don't have it like with Serato or virtual. That's
okay. So that's
something that is identical to the computer, but instead of using the computer or the standalone, you have your software on your device with your things, but it's not a full out computer. It's just the screen that you then can walk up to any device, a Pioneer device, a Denon device, plug it in and DJ from it.
Wouldn't that be a Surface Go?
Could be.
I mean, I'm just saying,
but they don't read it. It doesn't read it the same. Some do, some don't. Okay. So the controller would have to read it as everything, memory and everything.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So, because that's where I think things would go, because this next generation all have tablets, and that's the thing that, if you give them an app that works as well as Serato Virtual Record Box, so they wouldn't have to have a laptop. They could have the screen and have the size screen they want. If they don't want a 14-inch tablet, they can have a 12-inch tablet or a 10-inch tablet and be happy with whatever they want. And I think that would be a little bit more freeing, and also keep it universal, because you and I have discussed that I'm not a fan of the engine software in the device. It's limiting a few little things that I think are important. Nothing major, but for me, but that's neat that you're looking that direction, the standalones. So that's kind of neat.
Just as something different, just as also, lack of seeing, it seemed like we had like a great diversity of companies that were making controllers. And now I know some of it's been supply issue and there's been some different things like that, but we also know some of the bigger players have kind of pulled back. Denon doesn't have the 7,000. They don't have, they don't have 6,000. They don't have, there's a lot of their field that they're not utilizing anymore. And even, in some of the other companies, kind of the same thing. Like, we're just not seeing those products as much. And so it's like, okay, if they're all kind of pulling back and this is only what I've got to choose from, I don't like it. So let me look at another option. Let me look at
dream another option. Yeah.
Dream another option. Then what if, the standalone is where I want to go, then, what would make that enticing enough for me to go and say,
what do you think would be the tipping point for you? Because for me, it would be the ability not to have to turn over my entire music library to just MP3s. That if I could plug in and play whatever file I have, so if it's a video file, it would play it as an audio file. Just play the devices, so I don't have to switch things over. That would be something that would maybe push me over the edge.
I think straight up would be kind of to what you said, like having that tablet with the software of what I want, basically having the computer built in, to where I can run virtual and Serato, and it's not a separate piece. It's like right there.
Right.
It's all integrated. I mean, that's kind of where we're almost at to begin with.
Or maybe your idea would be a standalone where you could integrate which software you wanted to use, as opposed to just being just the engine software or just Record Box in the Pioneer.
Yeah. And having that video aspect, like I'm not doing video, but I do a send out for my pictures, and that wouldn't be doable with these currently.
Right.
I'd have to do something separate, which is doable, but not ideal.
I got one more thing controller wise that I want, colored caps. I think I want colored caps. I haven't decided yet, because I had those on the 7,000. Okay. And they won't fit on the Rain 1 because the 12 o'clock position is different on those.
Okay.
So it's just different. One is 90 degrees, the other one's 180. So the flat spots here on one, the flat spots here on the other, whatever.
Oh, the ones you have won't fit.
Yeah.
But do they make chroma caps for them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All it does is it's by orientation of the flat spot of the thing, but they're opposite of the Denon ones. So the ones I got for Denon won't work on the Rain.
Okay.
That's all. So then that, or some kind of skin to kind of protect it, because I've learned how much skin's protected. So those are my two for the controllers. All right.
Okay.
I put the next one on. and you can go with this if you want or not, DJ booth. Now you built one. Yeah. And I recently built one. I don't know if you saw some of the pictures I posted on Story Mode over the weekend.
No, I didn't.
I have a little portable booth now with a TV on the front, little tiny thing. It's perfect for me. It wouldn't be necessarily a wedding type thing, but it's pretty simple. We'll share pictures afterwards because I want to talk about it next year. I don't want to deal with all this stuff with the holidays, but I kind of am set for my booth for now, other than tweaking little things. What about you? Where are you booth wise?
So I'm not making any changes in my booth, just because of what it took. However, hindsight for what I have, I would go narrower. So I built it out with the idea that I wanted to make sure that it fit through doors, and anything that was ADA, compliant, that it would fit through that. And so I would make it a little bit more narrow, because while it fits, I didn't give myself a lot of wiggle room.
You don't have finger room for pushing, do you?
I've got finger room. I do, but if I had fat fingers, I wouldn't.
Okay.
It gets that close sometimes.
Right.
And then I would also look for a way to kind of utilize, obviously not going up steps, but if I have to get it up onto something, an easier way to make that happen. Maybe balancing out my weights a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. Trying to maybe trim down some weight. Again, I went with aluminum. I went with fake wood. Like, I tried to make it as light as possible, and I can lift it, but it's just not as easy.
Right. All right. Next one's pretty easy for me. This is one that every DJ in the world will disagree on. So there is no wrong answer. So if you don't disagree with Dan or I, we don't have the right answers. We're talking about headphones. If you don't already have your dream headphones, what would your dream headphones be? And I think I know which mine would be, because I run the Pioneer HDJ X5s, and they have an X7 and an X10. The X10 are like $350, and I got a chance like 3 years ago at the Expo to put the 5 on, put the 7 on, and put the 10 on, all running from my phone. So it was my music, 5, 7, 10, and I could not believe the difference of the 10. It was blowing me away, but I can't justify dropping $350 for something that I'm probably going to sit on at some point. That or Beats, both are about the same price. So dream headphones, that would be mine. And I don't foresee myself, unless someone gives me a pair, I don't foresee myself ever getting to own either one of those. So what about you?
I'm happy with the headphones I have. I have a set of V-Modus that I got the M100s, I think, when there was a sale not that long ago. Mm-hmm. I don't listen to my headphones outside of when I DJ and I'm in my mix. Like, that's the extent of it. And I learned a long time ago how to mix in headphones. Like, that was what I did.
I think I have like 3 or 4 pair of these now.
Yeah.
This is the Bluetooth version. So yeah.
I think if I was gonna go anywhere, any direction with headphones, I would, into the dream aspect, I would love for the style that I have to be Bluetooth without latency.
I saw somebody the other day, a picture of a DJ DJing with a set of them, ran down to a Bluetooth pack on his hip. And I was like, I so wanted to contact him. It's somebody, I don't even know who they are. And I'm like, I wanted to contact, how's that work? Do you like it? Which one do you have? Because it was kind of neat. So,
but there's just a slight latency, to my understanding. And so, especially if I'm doing beat mixing and that kind of thing, it's like,
it's pretty minuscule if you do the low latency stuff, because I have Bluetooth earbuds that run the low latency, and it's almost unnoticeable. It runs more power. Obviously it takes more power, but I think I'd like to give something like that a try. But for now, all right. So we're going to say the HDJ X10's Bluetooth version.
There you go.
I don't make one, but that's what we're dreaming, right?
Yeah, we're dreaming. We can do it.
All right. Laptop. Now, this is, again, every DJ's difference. Mine's pretty simple. I love my laptop. You own the same one, but I want my laptop lighter and smaller. Lighter and smaller. So that's pretty simple. We both own a very large gaming laptop. It's powerful as all get. It is butt-kickingly powerful, but it is also, it's large.
It is. It is. It
has all the hookups.
Well, it's only a 15-inch, but it is. It's heavy.
15.6.
Okay, whatever. It's not 17 though, is what I'm getting at.
No.
So it's heavy and whatnot. So yeah, when it comes to laptops, I'm in the market for a new one, more for home than I am obviously for DJing. But yeah, I would like to have something that's definitely lighter, that definitely makes it a little bit easier. Just from like carrying it in my backpack, like to go into an event, yeah, it's definitely got some weight to it. But in the same respect, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, one day I picked up that backpack without the laptop in it and went,
yeah,
holy crap.
Yeah, that's the one nice thing. You don't have to question whether it's in there or not. Like,
oh my, yeah, for real.
Like, did I remember to put that back in? Oh yeah, yep. Like.
I don't know how much it is, but it's, like I said, it's good. But that's where I'd go with laptops. All right, this is one that we kind of went on: lighting and lighting controls. Mine again is simple. I want to be able to DMX something. I'm completely DMX illiterate. And I did a Christmas party a couple weeks ago where I would have liked to have had my gig bars go red and green as opposed to every color. Something that simple I want to learn to do somehow. I don't need to have some big giant control board, something maybe that could be programmed, because with virtual, you can do certain things with the hotkey buttons. I think I would do something like that. So if it's my dream would be also to learn that and do that maybe. So
I know just the person. Howie, you and MJ need to talk. There you go. That took care of your learning how to DMX. For mine, so I have the 4-bar tri. I also had the 4-bar quad, like Bluetooth, which was like this, entry level one, but it gave me the four controls. I want a 4-bar wash style light that is hex. That gives me, RGBAW, UV. And so I get.
I'm impressed because I couldn't do it if I had to.
I had to think for a second. So I was like, did I leave one out of there? No.
Because it's not Roy G. Biv like it used to be with the color.
No.
Not that.
No. But the big problem that I run into, so there are some companies that are making hex style wash lights. Blizzard has one, but they have like 8 heads on it. So to me, it's just too much. Like, it's too busy. And then there was one other company I think that I found that did it, but again, there was something about it that I was just like, I just don't like it. I don't understand how we have every uplighting company in the world who has hex for their uplights, but then you put it in a wash lighting and it's like, no, we can't do hex. It's the same stuff. Like, it's the same component. Like, give us that, because when I'm trying to wash, like, I want to wash a ceiling. Like, I've got uplights around the room. I want to wash the ceiling and I want to make it all kind of match, or a 10 or whatever I'm in. And I'm like, oh, but I used amber. Oh, forget that. Or I used white. Oh, but these don't have white. What? It's just like something that would allow me to go that and that same thing, done. Let's go. And that's one of those things that's been very frustrating. I've looked at a couple people who have taken uplights and created their own version on a tripod. So basically just a T-bar and did like 4 and I think they were like using like the Chinese knockoff ones or whatever, but it was kind of cool because they were wireless, they were battery powered, and they gave them hex. But I just wasn't wanting to go there right now. So
maybe soon. I mean, that to me, it seems pretty logical. People dropping the color wheel in there for that. All right. So the next one is, again, I'm pretty simple. It's microphones. And mine's really simple. The first one I'm going to ask for is an SM58 wired.
Okay.
Because I have a $20 pile mic and I should just buy something that's legitimate. The other thing is I have a really old UHF wireless Shure mic that I probably should update to a digital one. So a digital Shure. And the other thing is I want to get a little lapel. John has them for doing recording on my phone so that if I'm out somewhere, I can have the pinch lapel. Like those are real. The one he showed was really slick. I think that's my mics would be that way. A legitimate brand name wired, a wireless that's not 25 years old, and a lapel that is workable, because I want to do some more stuff that way. So those are my 3. And when you got back to me about mics, the way you said that, I think you have something in mind, don't you?
No.
Oh, because when you come back and you made sure we talked about mics, I was like, oh, I thought you had some.
I wanted to see if you get a kick out of it, because I thought yours would be like the mic that does the talking for me.
I haven't found one that's good enough, because I'm telling you, I don't enjoy it, but I'm really good at it.
Yeah. I just know you don't like talking on the mic.
No, I don't. I'm okay with that. I would rather talk on the mic than DJ.
Okay.
It's more comfortable, but then again, I don't want to talk on the mic because that means someone's going to come up and talk to me, because I engage the conversation, and like, no, I'm just doing my job. So I'm not engaging in conversation. I'm saying a word. Nothing more needs to be said. There's no rebuttal.
So there are some things, like, kind of, again, that wish list type of thing. So there's one that I would love to have, but I'm sure it wouldn't work the right way. I would love to have a little button on my end, so that when I've got somebody that's doing a toast and they start doing like this with the mic, like, instead of talking to it like this, it's out here, it's down here. It gives them a nice little zap to remind them.
Yeah. I want the same thing, but on a controller. So if a DJ touches a knob more than once and doesn't do anything, they get zapped. So the DJs, they're doing this, zap, zap, zap. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. You better do some mixing. I don't know.
Use the button, actually push it. Yeah. So that would kind of be one thing within the mic. And I kind of joke with that. But the other thing that I would like to see is, so when you make, I started watching some of the Ben Stowe videos, because I know I don't set up my wireless the way that I should. Like, there's settings that are in there that I've kind of just guessed at, from years of use, that I know as watching the video, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense than what I was doing. Right. So I would love to be able to have, but all of them, if you make a change, like, you kind of make a change in the mic, and then you're making a change in your bass, and you're syncing the two and all that kind of thing. Or you make the change in the bass and you sync it to the mic. But the problem that we often have, especially in the mobile aspect, is we're giving the microphone to somebody who doesn't know how to speak and is not there for sound check, right? I'm giving it to the best man. I'm giving it to the matron of honor, and they're going up to do their toast, but they were in the ceremony, and I'm over here at the reception. And so there's no time for them, unless I'm completely missing something. There's no time for us to really do a sound check the right way to say, okay, that level needs to be here. And so some of the settings of getting that proper sound are done by them talking into the microphone, not even going into your board, but just into the microphone. So those levels are right. And so I would love to have something that I could adjust and not have to bring the microphone within a foot to sync. Like, let me make the adjustment, and if they're over there, it's going to fix it for them.
Oh, okay.
Kind of another setting that I can use to really dial in better for them, since they're not there for sound check.
That's way beyond me just going, all right, I want to hear you guys sing along.
Yeah. So
that's why I have a cheap under $20 microphone. All right. So the next one, I put music, and I wanted to leave that open because I wanted to explain it to you this way. What kind of music do you want to hear more of become popular so that you can play it? Because for me, if disco came back, I'd be happy playing disco or something fast and dancey like that. So what would you like to see become popular that you could play more of?
So I would say, and I'm going to sum it up to more artists similar to Dua Lipa.
Okay. Right. I consider some of her songs very disco-esque.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that upbeat feel. I like the upbeat Pitbull stuff. I like that upbeat vibe that just makes you want to move. Right. And so and some of the Doja Cat, and some of it's kind of slow, but some of it's been kind of in that upper feel, even if the BPM isn't like super high. So I like that area. And I felt like there was a lot of stuff that got put on hold when the clubs shut down. And we saw some of it kind of start to work its way back out, which is why I think we've seen some more of that disco-esque type of stuff start to surface. I would like to see a little bit more of that to really kind of broaden out I don't want to say everything has to be 120 to 130, but I'd like to see some newer stuff kind of filter into that. That's mainstream.
You have to think that a lot of Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake, and Bruno Mars are around the 115 range.
Yeah.
And that's all that kind of peppy kind of stuff. Yeah.
That is such a dead BPM range other than those guys.
I know.
You
have to be picky and find a few remixes here and there. Those artists, when I get into that range, I know what artists I'm going to play. That's all.
You don't have a lot of choices. It's one of those weird BPMs for whatever reason that people have always kind of tried to steer clear of. And I remember that back when I first started learning how to DJ, and I was I was doing this at a bar that turned into a bar with a dance floor on the nights. And we had this guy that would tell us how to like do stuff. And, we had to start low and we had to build high. And it's like, man, you like, there was no jumping. Like the most we could go was 4 BPM at a time. And so we're like, you get to 110, like, crap, I'm playing this again this week. Cause like, there was no real stuff in there.
You just have to dig for remixes. Again, that's the purpose of digging. Sometimes it helps you fill in those dead spots. And that is a tough one, but, what?
Sorry, I laughed at Dave's post. Dear Ben Stowe.
Yeah, for real.
Dear Santa Ben.
We should have him on the show one time and just annoy him with our dumb questions. Like, are you crazy? No one will ever make that kind of stuff.
Oh, we know nobody's gonna ever make half the stuff we're suggesting.
Yeah,
but
a lot of my stuff's been real so far. I mean, it's just stuff.
Yeah, but it's stuff that I misunderstood the topic. But
I think I'm looking at mine. It's like I really should have that. I'm a professional, sort of thing.
Yeah, you really should have a better mic.
Stuff.
You really should have a better mic.
All right, so the next one is also music related, and this one I want to open this up to 2 different directions. I put music subscription. So is there a music subscription service that you would like to try, or something you would like to see a music subscription service start doing? So
I would, rather than doing that, I would like to see the rules change for subscription services so that back catalogs could be available easier
legally.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's why I said the rules change. Okay. Yeah. So to where your companies that are not violating things,
right,
could put them up, and you could build your catalog, even at a higher price or even at a different rate, but something where I'm not having to pay $1, or $1.30 or whatever, just so that I can go and get this set of songs. I would like to see more of that direction. And I know that that's completely out of the subscription services hands. And some of you are like, well, my company does this. They're not supposed to.
There's so many advertisements I saw this Christmas from different DJ subscription services, 2 terabyte hard drive, all genres, all decades, crated and genred, and selling it for price. Yeah. So you can, but not legally. And there's a couple subscription services I belong to that you can grab old stuff that you probably shouldn't be able to. So,
right.
Yeah. Mine is kind of simple. I subscribe to the iDJ Pool and Virtual DJ, and they have stuff that is like that none of the other download services have. Like, as soon as a song hits the charts, they have remixes of it. Like, there's one that was out. I didn't look this week, so I don't know where it's at on the chart this week, but it's ABCDEFU.
Yeah.
Nobody had it. They had 4 different mixes of it. And I'm like, can I just get that as a download? Because it's like they always, every time something that none of the other ones have, they have it, and they have like a clean edit, dirty edit, intro edit, short edit, long edit. And I'm like, can I download that, please? I like that. So that's, I think, what I'd like to see more of, that, to where it's stuff that comes out quick that I need to have, that I can get it, mine, and that not have to go through the streaming service on certain things. Because Pitbull's song, I Feel Good, you could only get it on a streaming service for the first, I don't know how long it was out. And I was like, I want to download this. But something like that. And I agree with the older stuff, because there are times when you want to go grab maybe a better version of an older song, and it's just, you can't, unless you have friends that help you out.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, there should be, because the workaround for a lot of them is like the videos.
Which the videos are a whole nother rule, because a lot of them had to drop it because of copyright stuff. I want to see more companies that can afford to do videos too.
And I really couldn't care less if they do the video or not. I want to be able to have the audio track. And I know I can have the video in there and just play the audio. I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to take up the space of video just so I can have the audio track.
Yeah. I could see that if you're not a person who's organized. And go ahead, Dan.
I also say that how I put the picture on my TV is, and if I play a video and I'm not careful, the video goes on the TV instead of
right.
There's a couple tracks where I have that for whatever reason I never got the audio, or if I did, I somehow lost the audio. So I've got a video, and one time I was playing it, and I have a little screen on my side of my booth so I can see what is on there, and I was like, it was like an overlay, like both of them were there at the same time. And I went, oh, slide the fader, get that in the right spot.
That's with virtual, you can actually program buttons, because I have one that covers it. Just if I see something, boom, puts one of those
slider.
It puts that over top. So there's little things you can do, but yeah, I agree with you. There are certain times you have to be careful, especially in your line as opposed to mine. Well, even with the casino stuff, the other night I was doing stuff, and I kind of had to think about some of the videos I have, and I'm like, because they want clean music at the casinos. And I'm like, well, I wonder how they feel about some of these videos. I don't know. But so I have to think a little bit about that too. But there's just little things. There's a lot of the subscription services, their hands are tied right now on a lot of things. Because you think about a new DJ coming along, how in the world are they going to get older songs?
Yeah, I mean, that's legally the thing. You have to like start buying, sets or buying compilation, albums, but through the downloads. But it gets so difficult to build that up.
Yeah.
That, to have a subscription service who, even if they were to kind of create that compilation, create that, greatest hits thing where it's an album. And even if you're buying that at a better rate than what you're having to do through Amazon, or without having to try and search everything, like if the old platinum discs could somehow make their way back in, into a digital form, like, that would be really nice, especially for anybody who comes along now.
The entire platinum series right there. The entire platinum series. Just want to say, I like showing that off. Buy CDs. What's a CD? I haven't touched a CD in over a decade. Like, for real. Well, I wouldn't have any way to even do anything with it. Sorry, Robin. I didn't mean that negatively. Sorry. Yes, sorry. All right, so we're moving on.
Laptops don't have them now. So I mean, the idea of
none of mine have it. Yeah, nothing.
I've got an external that I sit over here just in case I need it for something. But
I haven't touched a CD in over a decade, and I literally mean that. Well, other than moving them, I have stuff in a box and a shelf on the other side of the basement. I'm like, I got to get to this shelf. Move them over. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Software. Now I have, for Dream Software, Megaseg, and
I'm out of water.
Wait, how do I make this thing do this? It's been so long since I've done this. There we go. Woo! I just needed a drink, and John's not here. Boop. I already have the Dream Software, so it does everything that I want. I'm learning more and more about it. Switching over to the Rain 1. I'm trying different things. The Rain 1's sound card is so much better than the 7000. And the 7000's card was so much better than the 6000 MK2's card. So I went from 0 dB before, and now with the new one, I'm going -9 dB and getting the same output and keeping it all in the yellow now, as opposed to going into the red before. It's a nice balance. So there are little things in virtual that I've never really tried a whole lot of stuff like that. Trying different skins lately. I've been trying different setups because the way the Rain's, like on the 7000s, our effects are 3 of them at the top. Theirs has 6 in the middle. Well, virtual does have a pod of 6 that you can program. So all I had to do is do drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down, and I have my 6 right there.
Nice.
So little things like that. But I had to go back to the original skin to get that drop down, because the other skins only had you can do a single or a 3 effect box. You go back to the stock one and you can do a 6 effect box. So I have what I want. What would you request if you're a man that uses both from time to time, Serato and virtual?
Yeah, I've been so pleased with what I have for software that like I don't really have a wish list. I really don't have a need for that outside. And we kind of hit on this earlier, was those softwares available into tablet form.
Yeah.
To where I wouldn't have to take our, 10-pound laptop, that instead, I could take an iPad, especially if I want to be able to use it like for ceremony or something like that.
Yeah.
And want to be able to use it nicely and have everything connect.
Yeah.
I
would like to see virtual do an app that's like the Serato or the Record Box, to where you could even edit stuff and do stuff, and it would be then taken over to your computer in that way too. So if I'm sitting somewhere, I can have my folding phone and start doing stuff on it, and then it's on my computer when I get home, stuff like that. So somebody in the chat day and night said that he would trade me headphones for that USB. No. No. All right, to the last one on my list before we get to miscellaneous. And I don't think I have any miscellaneous. I want to put this out to everybody who's watching. And even if you're watching this on demand, get back to me, because I'm curious about this. I'm getting a new vehicle, so I'm going to have room for speakers. Okay. I'm either going to get a sub, which I don't own a sub. So woo, I'm getting a sub to go with my K12s. Or this is something I'm wondering if someone has done. And if you have in the chat or watching this on demand, get back to me and let me know your experiences with it. I want to know if there are any, and I did look today and did find some knockoffs of like the EV30 or the 50, something like that is a knockoff from like China or something. I'm thinking about going that route. I really am, because they're like half the price. And the stuff I do isn't big gigs, so I don't need much. And I thought something like that would be a nice addition, but I don't want to drop, what is it, 15 per side or something like that on some of the EVs?
Something like that. I mean, but you keep in mind, you're getting the tops and the bottoms together.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. The ones I looked up, it was, oh crap, I can't think of the name. And they have a whole website of different stuff they do, but you can order it offline, and they are the same thing, 2-piecers, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. What was the question?
Speakers. That would be me.
That would be you. Okay.
The other was speakers. Because you talked earlier about getting China speaker stands. And that's why I said I want to cover that later. So my China speaker stands are actually line arrays from China, is what I'm kind of maybe hoping for.
Okay. I don't remember saying China speaker stands, but whatever.
We're talking about the silver ones, and you said you think you think a company maybe from that might have the white ones or whatever. You said something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that do the white ones with that, but so within mine for speakers, I really am a huge fan of my 50s. I absolutely adore them. And the one thing though that I would like to see, and this is something that's been kind of on that wish list for a lot of people for a while, and every time EV talks about a new product, they're like, oh, they're finally going to do it, would be something that is maybe a 15 for their bottom. So
what's the 50
12.
bottom?
It's a 12.
It's a 12, and you want a 15.
Yeah. Something that would give just that, that wouldn't add a ton of weight, but would give us a little bit more of the punch, a little bit deeper of the punch, especially for within the dance floor area. Now, I will say this is one of the things that it also comes to, are you setting them up the way you should? Because I think some people who haven't had that right sound are not setting them up the way they should. They're too close together, or, they're not utilizing the spacing that you should to get the best sound from this type of a speaker. So I think some of it also could be user piece there.
Right.
But I think just that little extra that little extra pump would also allow you to go, to that upper hundreds, to almost to the 200 for the amount of people and be like, yeah, I'm good. So my wedding this past weekend was 230. It's by far the largest I've done in years for a wedding. So my 50s have been the only thing that's come out. But when I was like, oh, we're over 2. All right, I'm bringing out my 12s over my 18s. My EKX system that I have. So it was a bigger system, and the more that I was carrying, and the more size, it meant I would like to see, and people have speculated, they call it the EV75 or the EV100. You know what I mean? Like it just had that bigger.
It'd have to have a 5 in it if it was 15, right?
Yeah, there you go. But just something that's a little bit more.
Right. That brand that I was telling you I was looking at, and you're going to hit, I want you to hit a couple of the things that came up in the chat, but the brand that I was looking at is Act Pro Audio, ACTPRO Audio. They have a website and everything, and they make a bunch of different like arrays like that, and you can get a set right and left for about $1,500.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm considering that maybe, but wait till I get a vehicle where I have a little bit more room to give it a try. And I just may go. I have a friend that has a couple of the old K12 subs, the ones that are the skinny ones, that I'm sure I could get at a really good price off of him. And maybe that would be enough to do what I do.
Yeah, you've got 12s in there. I think the problem that you're going to run into is that it's going to sound, especially if you use any type of setup, because your K12s you're going to have 12s that are your mids, and you're going to have 12s that are your bottom. And so there's going to be, if you use the internal crossovers.
Yeah, for me, it's not going to be that bad. Again, mine are not.
I just think it's good. I think you're going to end up doing more tweaking. Whereas if you had K10s on the top,
because I don't do events like when it comes to mobile gigs over 100 people.
Right. Oh, I don't mean from that standpoint. I just mean the balance within your sound because of what you're using for each frequency interval.
Compare the K12s by themselves or K12s with 12 subs. Which would you go with?
Probably would do K12s by themselves.
You really wouldn't do the subs with them.
I
think it muddies it that much.
I think it does.
Okay, that's that. I've not really stood next to them and compared. I did compare my 12s to a set of, I don't know if they were 30s or 50s, because another guy set up after me up at the ski lodge one day, and I was like, oh, that's why people like them. That's a nice full all the way through sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to run the K12s, and then I had them over a pair of 18s when I kind of build up to that point. I did 181s, I think it were the KW 181s. I think if you were wanting to do the skinny subs, you would be better off to go with like a set of K10s, just to kind of help get that differentiation a little bit better. But I'm not a full sound person. I'm thinking there'd be a little bit more tweaking that you'd have to do to get the sound that you want, without it seeming muddled.
Right.
But anyway, so to touch on the piece in there, on the Behringer column arrays are, I get that day. Behringer has gone through ups and downs and company buyouts and people buying them and everything else. So every once in a while you get they're the best bang for the buck. And then you got other people who, and then they'll go through a downturn, and then it's like anything you buy is just absolute garbage. So I could definitely see kind of, you got to be careful. Just because it looks like a column array doesn't mean it's going to sound good. And then the Maui 44s, they are 15s. Yeah, possibly. I'm not really planning on going another. I don't want to say I'm brand loyal, but I'm pretty close to it. Like I'm very happy with my 50s. And I looked at some Maui stuff before, and I forget why now. It's been a couple of years. Why I kind of was like, I don't know if I want to go that route. So don't buy the old K sub. Somebody said. Sorry. We did the K sub bottoms up. Hooray. Yeah, John, you're right. I do remember us using them, but what did we have up top? Did we do 12s over? I'm not saying the K subs are bad. I'm thinking if he's using the K12s on top,
they're not going to compare to like a 15 sub, or I know they're not.
No, I don't
it's
mean
just
that.
when I'm doing nothing, having just two K12s, I would like to add something to it now that I have a little room. It may end up being just a single sub of some sort, like 115. I don't remember also, if I get something, I have to be able to lift it out of the bed of a truck. So that's also going to limit me a little bit too.
Yeah. Oh, we did.
I mean, I can lift some stuff, but I don't know if I could pull a 15 off of there up and down and put it back on by myself. I don't know.
15 on the bottom. I mean,
yeah, like I said,
just lift it up and down out of the truck. I got you.
Yeah. I don't know because I've never picked one up, so I don't know. But yeah.
So John said at Beret we did use the K12 over the small case subs. So everything that I talked about for the last 10 minutes, I was also drinking that night, so I don't know. I wasn't drinking that much. I wasn't drinking that much.
No. And again, sound is one of the most speculative things that each person's ear is going to sound different. Because I know guys who have bad hearing that go, oh, that bass in the headphones, it's useless. I can't hear anything. And I'm going, it's clear as a bell to me. But because they have hard of hearing, the lower tones muddy up the headphones, and they want the high end in the headphones so that they can hear. So it's all subject to the person. So like I said, I haven't crossed that bridge yet, but I think, like I said, maybe knockoff EVs. You never know. And maybe I'll be the guinea pig until you don't do it. I don't know. I was happy with my knockoff lights because I have a lot of PARs that are knockoffs and I love them. Never had a single problem with them. So
Day I have not, and I won't. I won't do that.
The bear ringers.
No. Dave mentioned, he said, have we ever stacked the Evolve 50s on top of the 18 subs using high pass filter? To me, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of what the Evolve 50s are and the way they do. So I just looked at the time though, and
we're done.
We're done. So if we didn't make it through the list, we're through the list.
That was it. Yeah. The only thing past speakers was miscellaneous, and I don't have any miscellaneous.
Okay, so we won't worry about that. Real quick here. I know you're quite busy this week. Any show this week for you?
No show this week. This is my last show until next year. Holidays and me don't get along, so I'm taking it easy. I got Christmas Eve. I'm DJing. I've turned down like 3 things for New Year's Eve. I'm going to try to let my brain enjoy some time off, hopefully. But I do have some stuff planned for next year for both TV shows and everything. So, and I probably will be doing a show about the Rain one next year, why I picked it and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people want to know. So.
Awesome. So here's the thing I'm going to say. John didn't give us a list of all the shows that are coming up and what nights are happening and if they're happening, because like as MJ said, we're close to the holidays. So check out your emails, stay up on that, be watching the Facebook, John's Facebook and the Facebook for DJNTV, and you'll find out all those little nitty gritty details. But at this point, we want to hand things over to Howie. So make sure you are jumping over to DJNTV.com/chill. MJ, can you drop that in the chat, or do you need me to?
I'm still trying to figure out how to hold on here.
Here, I think I can do it. Well, I can do it in the one chat. So, but again, DJNTV.com/chill. You're going to go over and you're going to hang out with Howie. They're going to be talking and have some good times tonight and enjoying themselves. And I hope everybody has a very wonderful Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas and you celebrate some other holiday, very joyous time of whatever that happens to be. We do want to appreciate you and thank you for doing everything you've done and hanging out with us. And thank you for all of you that were in the chat and throwing out some cool ideas tonight. They've definitely been some fun parts to tonight's show. And we definitely thank you for that. Have yourself a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.